so far, but it could come to an end right here, right now. If he loses this game, he's on his last life right now here in the round of 16. Let's go into game number 2 on Deadwing. Find out if FanTaSyr is going to close it out. To the bottom right in red. Up a game in this loser's match. It's FanTaSyr. Solid EMPs there at the end. And over to the top right in blue. Super. Formerly MVP. Now playing on Invasion, playing for a foreign team. Repping Invasion here very well, but having some tough times.
Oh, that makes it really hard to read.
Yeah, so FanTaSyr, please, something. I'm like, well, now no one knows because you shook it. His one more set, he has to go to work tomorrow. I saw he had to go to work at the end, but I was like, I don't know what that's related to because I couldn't read the top right. Okay.
It's going to be, I'm going to say it's going to be a CC first from FanTaSyr.
What would make you believe that?
I just got this feeling, man. Yeah, something just telling me, my gut feeling is like, I think this game will be CC first.
That's really weird, Moonblade. I mean, he's got 14 SCVs. He's clearly...
I've got that StarCraft sense, man. What can I say?
He's clearly about to make 3 refineries, 2 at his main and 1 at the natural.
Oh, that makes sense.
With all those SCVs, that extra mining he has. What is that? It's a Town Hall. Town Hall first.
That's a tree of life if I've ever seen one.
Well, I don't remember what Chunso means, but talking about the casters.
No doubt about us up in our booth.
Yeah, they're talking about us.
Ivory Tower. Looking down on everyone in the Nexon arena.
Right. We're up here.
The
Definitely had
bird's
a
nest.
good view. Yeah, the bird's nest, the crow's nest.
Dude, we could just watch it on the giant screens outside as well. I never actually noticed that.
I do that from time to time.
You're in a much better position for it now.
I am. At the right seat.
Stole it from me.
Well, do you think we'll see a third barracks this time?
Yes. Yes, I do, Wolf. I do completely.
Well, I do too, because he hasn't had gases yet. And
well, he actually has a... He's going to go for a third CC? No.
No, he's going to drop double orbitals first.
Oh, of course. How could I have...
Of course.
How could I have not even thought about that? I'm like, he's up to 250 minerals already? Oh, my God.
He does actually drop the third barracks, though.
Yeah.
Confirmed. And, I mean...
Super going for a fairly fast Nexus off 1 gas.
Probe Scouts. Let's see the response here from Super this time. Because it's like, oh, you have done this now 5 games
times, Wolf.
5 games in a row. Like, why are you going to scout with a mothership core, Super? You know there's 3 barracks in there.
Yeah, man. He could just go for 3 Nexus or something and just go that way.
Actually, wouldn't be a bad choice.
He probably just died of the bio timing there. I mean,
no, do that third base parting timing. Just hit a bunch of gates up afterwards. Well, it's going to be Blink.
It's going to be Blink. Let's see how much he commits to it is the next question.
Yeah.
I mean, against 3 racks, I don't think it's really an option myself.
Well, we saw San attempt this recently.
Exactly what I'm talking about. We saw it get crushed horribly. Would Super make the same mistake simply because he is sick and tired of dealing with CC first?
It's so funny for Super. Well, funny in a very unfunny way is that to play against Lenok, who's such a super aggressive style, and then play against FanTaSyr's more passive style in the early game. 2 completely different approaches to how to open the game.
Yeah, I really love his PvZ style, but so far his PvT is kind of lacking, in my opinion.
Well, perhaps he prepared more for Lenok because he's such a scary opponent.
Yeah, I would definitely think so, considering it was his first opponent as well.
Now, keep in mind, guys, both Protoss players in this group had to prepare for all 3 matchups, potentially.
Yeah.
Which is very, very frustrating.
Very difficult compared to, the other 2.
Well, a little bit of poking here at the bunker. In this match, we're not going to be able to make anything work here. You're not going to be able to stop FanTaSyr from making SCVs just by poking that. But he can force a repair. Maybe if he's lucky, FanTaSyr gets a bit nervous and adds a second bunker or something like that. But so far, FanTaSyr's read this well. Few more Warped and Stalkers from the main base. The fact that we don't have a pylon here anymore and that we've already broken the 40 count for probes and the robo goes up. This is not an all-in.
Yeah, not by any means.
FanTaSyr scans at the exact same 720 timing than that. He really is a program today.
Never in the main base where everything always is. In every one of his games.
This is like mecha fantasy, like Mecha Sonic. You know, it's just like his robot clone sent to actually play the group. FanTaSyr's relaxing in the Bahamas right now, actually.
Yeah.
He just programmed the robot to win the group for him. Well, we do see the same opening exactly out of Super. There's a Forge going up as well as a Robotics. I mean, this is very standard for both players.
Getting the armor.
You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it, I guess. I mean, these are very standard, very solid openings we're seeing from both players. We're not trying to call them predictable or saying that the strategy is not good because they did it twice in a row.
It's all been very fleshed out at this point. Like, the meta has definitely been figured out. It doesn't change too much. It's more map dependent than anything else, I think, these days.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not like he did a wrong build last game. It was simply he was out of position for a lot of the drops.
Well, bit of a late blink there. One Marine for one Stalker, definitely not worth it.
Never, ever. And he cannot be trading without blink either, so he's going to be careful.
Well, plus, well, I was going to say plus 3. I need to say plus the third Nexus. Now, halfway done here.
Much easier to defend on this map as well. All 4 bases all nicely tucked together in each corner. Makes dealing with drops, dealing with any sort of attack, a lot easier. Obviously, one funnel into the 4th or the 3rd base makes it so you'll always be fighting on one front. It's just about dealing with the drops.
There's even a 3rd ramp where your 3rd base is on an additional high ground to defend against ground-based bio pushes. So, again, Super just trying to utilize the Stalkers to their fullest potential. Any pickoffs, any Marines, any Mirages he could find. +1 is done here for FanTaSyr. Stim Marine scouts this, but he shows Stim. Which means Stalkers are going to know that it's time to get out of here.
It's the same kind of timing we saw last game and the games before FanTaSyr had been playing. It's going to be entirely up to Super to identify this and make sure he's in position this time.
Well, he has an Observer. Remember when Terminator has his Observer, he held it really well. And we just didn't see that Observer at all in Game 1 here for Super. Well, this time he sees it.
It's there, but what does he have there? Everything's out of position once again. The Mothership Core at the 3rd base again.
Oh, he could snipe the Bay. He's not going to get the Robo this time, but... Oh, he could get the Bay and get a Colossus maybe.
He's going to stop the upgrade.
Yep. He's going to stop this upgrade
before it finishes.
And you know what? I think he could maybe even force that Colossus down. He decides just to get the pylon here, not to commit.
He's going to go for this time. Ooh, a lot of damage.
That's insane, though.
That is another massive blow to Super where he should be ready for it. He saw it with an Observer. His Mothership Core was way out of position.
He doesn't need his entire Gateway army at the 3rd if he has sentries and he has one Colossus down there.
I think just getting his... it seems to be happening when he loses that Observer. He gets scanned, he loses an Observer, he lost the 2nd one now, and now he's flying blind, and he kind of overreacts to one sort of side of the aggression and lets it drop in. And once again... Well, actually, no, not once again this time. Actually, he's completely fine. Colossus and Stalker's in position to deal with the main drop.
He's going to poke on the low ground here. I actually love this this element of maps sometimes when you can do this, but attacking all 3 bases at once. Looks like that Terminator game where he just had too much aggression. Terminator couldn't hold on.
Oh my god. If he had have targeted that Widow Mine, he could have killed so many probes.
He is so busy focusing over here, getting more probe kills, though. FanTaSyr's about to take a worker lead again. And that Colossus taking a lot of damage. Yeah. Down to 87 hit points.
There's still 2 Widow Mines here.
Observer's so far away. Okay, he should be able to clear this without losing anything.
Yeah, he should be just in time. Wow.
Cutting it close, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, there could have been some critical damage if he was paying a little bit more attention to those Widow Mines. Still, I mean, doing a lot of damage at that 3rd base as well.
Well, you know, I mean, upgrade-wise, we do have Charge about to finish. +2 attack has started now. for Super, but FanTaSyr's keeping it really close to the upgrades as
Didn't lose his Twilight this time or his Forge.
Oh, that Observer is so important. I don't think he has a scan. He definitely knows it's there. Going to lose 4 Widow Mines for free. That's a bit annoying. That was a good pick off there by Super. The drops continue, but he's got this cannon to buy time. He's going to warp in a few Zealots.
Not going to be enough, though. And I think we're just going to see a complete commitment from Super.
He's going to try to force this base down. He lifts it already. Actually looks like it's going to escape a layout. Like you said, it's not enough. Pylon's going to go down. And perhaps more. See if he has another warp in ready at home. Bunker's going up because he realizes FanTaSyr's like, okay, you're just going to try to all-in me here.
I don't know.
About to have 8 Vikings.
Ooh, this is going to be a very awkward position.
His Zealots are caught at the back. The Stalkers are at the front. So this Bio with the Concave at the top of the ramp is going to have a great time. First Colossus is down. He's got these bunkers here.
Beautiful, beautiful force fields. Still, lost his last Colossus. From here, only gateways against this much Bio with Medivacs. Not going to happen.
But, you know, this is not an all-in because he decided to back off. He knows he has 3 bases up, and FanTaSyr has lifted his third for so long that he gets a big advantage in mining, and he has both +2 upgrades on the way, something that FanTaSyr hasn't started yet for his armor.
Adding 4 more gateways and a Templar Archive. So he is going to transition out of this.
And FanTaSyr is still, like, turtling hard because of this situation. Yeah. He's got 4 bunkers up, but he's not confident enough to move down the ramp.
Still making Vikings, but there's no Colossi being in production whatsoever. He's simply relying on Immortals now with his charge lots, and most likely going to be adding Archons to this as well.
Those 4 extra gates, he can add a lot. Zealot Archon, such a easy comp to add to your army in the late game because your mineral dump goes into the Zealots, the gas dump goes into the Archons, and you build this sick, strong army.
And we're only seeing a Ghost Academy being added now. It is simply way too late, this kind of situation, and Ghosts are so critical for this kind of army.
It's still no third base mining. This one drop could do some damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not going to be scary enough to force Super to turn his whole army around. Oh, he's not paying attention, though. Let's see if FanTaSyr can force an engagement that's favorable. Vikings at the back. SCVs coming up, and those force fields are so good.
Wiping out so many of the SCVs. He should have enough to deal with it. That's a lot of bios still.
And the Vikings, too. Meanwhile, this drop finally cleaned up. And he's going to pick off these sentries. There's no Colossi here.
Super spending way too much time here just waiting for another warp in.
Oh, and the warp in is canceled by that pylon kill. That's a lot of Viking firepower on the ground. Just chasing these Stalkers, picks up another one. Now finally he feels like he can land that 3rd CC, but he can't. There's too many Archons coming in, just like you were saying.
There is a lot of Archons as well as a lot of Zealots being warped in. Next step of the attack is here, and the army of the Bio army is still simply 2 damage. Not enough healing in this army, not enough Medivacs. This third's going to have to be lifted once again.
Yep.
Now that there's Archons here, pulling the boys is not an answer.
No. And even if he, as long as he micros his Archons and his Zealots well, even the situation on the ramp is not that scary.
So close to killing it, just off.
He has to repair. He doesn't have a lot of money because guess what? He's not mining from a 3rd base because it's dying and he has to repair it.
Yep.
I mean, every mineral he spends here counts. Super is still on 3 fully saturated bases with 5 Archons here, with about to have +3 attack.
And that is not an army fit for fighting Archon Zealot, not at all.
Nope, not without any ghosts.
Here we go again.
Force field's going down. And if he just right-clicks on those SCVs with 1 Archon, he do so much damage. He's starting to take a lot of hits on his Archons.
He's got to be careful. He's committing a little too much to the CC, not enough to the Bio.
Now he starts to commit to the Bio.
Oh, a nice EMP.
There's those ghosts coming in.
But look at the supply difference. Super is up by 60 supply at this point.
Well, the orbital almost burns down. Is saved the last second again. If he loses that orbital, or if it's in the air, that means less scans. Less scans mean DTs become effective, which we do have a Dark Shrine finishing up right now. Looks Super, just at this point, could just research Storm with that 4th he has.
Yeah, he can. I mean, he's just spent so much gas on everything else.
Just thought he was he thought he was going to end the game with Archons alone. That was not the best Widow Mine shot ever, only getting 1 kill.
Yeah.
That's not, that's one thing that FanTaSyr wanted to try to get back into this game with, but did not succeed with. Maybe a Zealot goes down. Not the end of the world.
Doesn't have a winner mind.
Yeah.
I mean, observer.
That's something Fantasy learns from this. So, oh, wait a minute. You don't have any observers. You don't have any detection.
Ultra
Might be able to get some cloak going in here or something. Well, you can see here what that says in Korean is army supply is 120 to 70, which you guys can also see just by looking at the top right. Same information, just put into a bar graph rather than pure numbers to the top right. But the numbers say a lot. Fantasy just needs to hold this attack, but I don't think he can.
It's going to be hard. He does have a lot of ghosts now.
I mean, he's got some ghosts, yeah, but he still doesn't have a third base. How is he gonna? He can't just he can't just turtle forever. Like
No,
if he holds an attack, it means he kills Super's army somehow, which is like an impossible feat. If he holds that attack, then he basically just. I don't know. He's a god, man. He's even better than I thought, but he's down now 70 supply. This is what people on the internet call fantasy GG timing.
Well, he's holding on. He's holding on.
He is surviving.
I think you're completely right at this point.
He's at half the supply of Super right now.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of him moving out then dying.
He's moved his orbital to the left and drop-shipped SCVs over there.
He's just looking for that miracle comeback. He wants to be the hero.
This is like something you could do on the ladder when you hit like low GMs or high masters players, who didn't get into GM, but like super high MMR players who just aren't pro gamer level. You can actually you can manufacture a comeback in situations like this, but against a player on the level of Super, it's almost certainly not going to happen. I mean, Super is not just sitting back. He's now switching to Colossi, which is something that Fantasy has no answer for. His Vikings are on the ground. He's got very few.
4 Vikings to deal with that.
He's getting his second shield upgrade.
He should actually start making Nexus outside.
Certain Nexus canning them to siege it up.
Sieges like the bunkers with like Nexus cannon or something.
Third base gets scouted. I mean, Fantasy doesn't even have 2-2.
He's looking for those money EMP shots, but even that I don't think will be enough in the end.
I mean, he just doesn't even have 2-2. He could just 1A in here and he almost has enough.
And that is
those are
what
some
he will
money
do.
EMPs.
They're money, but simply too much army here.
He just stutter steps Archons forward. That's right. He just stutter steps Archons forward. That's how ahead Super is.
Look at it.
All right.
Complete domination.
He's going to force that GG.
Fantasy should GG at any point.
There it is. Hanging in there as long as he could, but that game was over for a while. Super bringing it back.
Yeah, nice game from Super.
Much better drop ship defense in game number 2.
Still lost the Robo Bay, but managed to hold on. Nothing too critical in terms